Hello. I am not feeling good. I am doing so not good that, when you get really desperate and you start looking at stuff online, because you're like, somebody do something, somebody help me. It's kind of where I'm at. I'm having like really bad pain down my IT band, which is your iliotibial band. It goes down like your side, I guess, like from your it connects at the top of your like pelvis bone. It's called like your iliac crest. I think it's about where it is, and it kind of goes down the side of your leg, and I think it connects at your knee and then down all the way to the foot. I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist, and it's been a long time since I've looked at it, but I feel like it starts like back near your piriformis or your sciatic nerve, that superior gluteal nerve area, and I am lit up. It so hurts. And so I was like Googling the iliotibial band, stretching, and laying here with my leg just lit up. And it was so painful that it was like causing my leg to give out. No, I almost fell, but it's not really a big deal. I don't know. I guess sometimes it's helpful for me to remember that there's not something urgent that needs repairing or something that needs immediate doctor's attention. I used to like run to the chiropractor every single time I was miserable and racked up quite a bit of medical bills with them over 2 or 3 times, and then I would pay it off and whatever. But now I've learned like the body really does want to reset itself and be better. And so sometimes I just remind myself that these roving type injury things that flare up, that they can't stay the way they are. And so I know that whatever this is that actually the ridiculous thing happened. So I just like maybe a month ago was dropping something out of a cupboard at work, and I reached with my knee to kind of stop it from falling. And that was just enough to throw out or make my hip spasm or tweak it or something. And literally I've had a problem with my left hip, both like in the joint, in like the piriformis area, like the back of that area, that iliotibial band, that whole region of inner working stuff has been in one way or another irritated for a while, and it's extra right now. But it's so easy to have pain and suffering like make you desperate, and then you're like, I gotta do something about this. What have I not done? Should I do? What still should be done? Are there tests? Do I need an X-ray? Do I need an MRI? And like, I'm at the point in my situation, I've had chronic severe pain on the daily with these roving injury type things for like probably 15-20 years. When I was like 16, it was like same thing, the same freaking hip too. It would just like pop out of place, or just have nonstop issues with my back or my stomach, or like I have IBS. It doesn't really bother me now, and I don't have a gallbladder anymore. But there's just all these functional type symptoms from the beginning. And so to tie it all together, I guess I would say like for the longest time I would go to doctor after doctor after doctor after specialist after specialist to be like, what's wrong with my shoulders? Like, my shoulders are jacked, and I have such issues with my like rotator cuff tendonitis is what they want to call it. But it's like, I feel a lot of these things like, yes, there's something actually wrong in these areas because we have these signaling issues, and so then I've got something tweaked and spasmed or inflamed or whatever, and it's like it really legitimately is an issue and legitimately is there and it's a problem, but there's not some degenerative organic origin, or it's not like I fell or something, A happened and then, cause and effect. It's not like that. It's like something tweaked. I don't know. I woke up like this. So often it's like, I hate to hear this, and I don't know if I don't even think I've heard it really recently, or maybe not even specifically ever, but if someone to be like, what's wrong with you now? Like, what is it now? And I don't know if you guys experience this too, or technically is this all the fibromyalgia-y stuff? I mean, because it's not just like, oh, I'm sensitive to the touch in these certain areas. It's like, boom, I've got this thing twisted, or I cough and now my rib's out, and now I have severe problems with that, and I have the worst Charlie horses in my back because my ribs are just so spasmy. Oh God. Oh God, don't you just get it hurts so bad. It's like the right half of my trunk is like having a bunch of like almost like a lightning storm of muscle spasms. I don't know. And then it's like and then it's like you've got 2-3 things happening at once. So now I've got like muscle spasms in my trunk. I've got, so like mainly in the back of my ribs, and then it's like my band is all hurting. It's just always something, and it gets exhausting, and I get sick of myself. But I guess after all my blabbing, I would just say to remember that, to just take things one day at a time, and sometimes there's not going to be some definitive origin to a certain pain, trouble-y problem. And sometimes, I guess it's different for everyone, but I guess like everyone knows when their need is finished to keep looking and keep searching. And I'm trying to remember, I think I quit searching and looking and seeking, finding the origin to some of these things a couple years ago. But when I'm feeling like this, puts my thinking cap back on and my wheels start turning, and I'm like, what about Ehlers-Danlos? I am really certain there's something wrong with my connective ability to like hold things in place, and like I just pop out of place, or I have these severe like issues with things all the time, with physical issues. And I don't know, I could like bite into a piece of jerky and like my jaw will pop out, and like it'll be physically exhausting and miserable for days. Or, could cough, my hip goes out. Could turn just wrong and now my rib is jammed and stuck and spasmed and subluxated for days, or I can't stand up straight because my low back is tweaked and twisted because my hips will, like, I don't have two hands, but your hips are supposed to be like this, like one side will rotate, and I won't be able to stand up without ice, or I need a cane. And it's like, what the heck? Like, surely there's something that's very clear, definitive, that can be shown on a test. Like, do some freaking test, right, that shows these things. And it's not always like that. And that doesn't mean it's not freaking real. It doesn't mean I'm making it up because you can't take an MRI or an X-ray or an ultrasound on my problems, or it's not on a blood test or some whatever test. That doesn't mean that that's where it's so confusing. So like, is there some genetic-y thing where I have problems with elasticity and things staying in place? Or is it just FND and I have signal sending issues that tell my nerve, send shooting pain down your sciatic joint nerve, like it's happening right now down my left leg. I'm getting like sciatic nerve pain, dripping. Okay, is that because my brain is missignaling? Or is my piriformis muscle actually inflamed, aggravated, and pushing on my joint, not my joint, pushing on my nerve, causing the irritation and pain? Well, I would say it's both. It's almost like, yes, there is an actual occurrence of something, but it's almost like the volume is turned up. Like, everybody is going to feel eventually their body needing to move when you're sitting in a stiff chair. But it's almost like us with these FND type issues, it's almost like because the volume is turned up on our nervous system, we're more aware of that need to move in a chair much sooner than the average person. So, like, it's not to say that you have a low tolerance or anything like that. It's just we're heightened and sensitive and more aware. Our bodies are more aware and also have the volume turned up on a lot of things. So, okay, so I'm going to get an ice pack because ice is my best friend for flared up electric nerve issues. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to try not to overthink things, and I'm trying not to get on some tangent where I'm like, what's wrong with me? I gotta figure this out. La 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 la. It's like, who cares? Just make it go away. So, ice, rest. I might take a bath. I might just lay here and do nothing. I don't know. But I wanted to complain about feeling like garbage, so. Anyways, I don't know. That's just a bunch of stuff. So, bye.